Oh, alright, ooh, sorry, I was off on my counting as to when, cause before we start recording, my the program that I'm using has a counter and it goes 3, 2, 1, and then it starts recording. And I wasn't really paying attention, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm recording. So hopefully, I'll be able to sync everything up in the actual audio, and when things come up, I might just have to do a little bit of tinkering around. Whatever. Anyway, we're ready to start the trial phase of day 2. District Courtroom, number 3. Rabble, 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 rabble. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Apparently the prosecution is also ready. I'm just gonna check to make sure everything is good. Everything is good. That's moving. That's moving. And that's recording. Alright, anyway. Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well. No opening statement, so...
Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking.
People ask me why he has a Batman voice, and this is just how I always imagined him talking. And also, Von Karma is like the Batman of prosecution, pretty much. So, he deserves a Batman voice. Actually, that comparison makes no sense, but it doesn't matter.
A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now.
Rebel, 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 rebel. Order, order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now?
Bah! Must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now.
Alright. I'll call my witness, my decisive witness to the stand. It's the mysterious boat shop owner.
Witness, state your name and profession.
I'm the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at the lake, at the Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats.
The night of the incident, you were at the boat rental shop, correct?
Yep, I was.
Please testify.
Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Raise an objection. Wait a minute. The witness hasn't stated his name yet.
Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah! I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate.
Yeah, right. The witness will state his name. I'm really not sure. Yep. You mean, memory,
Your Honor. The witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name.
So he can't recall, you say?
Yes, the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify.
Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we? Witness? It was the 27th, just after midnight, yep. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats as usual. I heard a bang, yep. And I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating in the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination.
There is nothing to question in my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before the 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict now.
Yes, Mr. Wright. Of course, you cross-examine. What are you saying? Of course I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well, you may begin.
Ah!
Excuse me, Von Karma?
3 minutes just passed.
I see. Well then, let's take our time. You may cross-examine the witness.
Hold it!
Just after midnight, you say.
Yep, just around then.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, yep.
When I talked to you yesterday, you were rather vague the whole time. I'm surprised you seem so sure about it today.
Oh god, so awesome. I asked him and he remembered. Isn't that right?
Don't glare at me like don't glare at me like that. I remembered it clearly. I did. Yep.
You see, continue.
Hold it. So, is there anyone who can verify that? Well, I guess Polly could. That's not good enough for a court of law. Mr. Wright, exactly what's not good enough? Your Honor, Polly is a parrot. A parrot? Hey, don't be so hard on the girl, Keith boy.
Keith? The prosecution concedes we cannot prove the witness was in the shop. Witness, please continue.
Hold it! And where did the bang come from? From the lake, I figure.
Are you certain?
Yep.
Good. Continue.
When I looked out oh, sorry. Hold it! Was there someone in the boat? It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly. I figure there was 2 men out there, yep. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yep, at the time, that is. At the time. Hold it! So, you heard 2 gunshots total?
Yep.
That was what Lotta said in her testimony yesterday. Just about then, a boat come back to shore and a man walks by my window. Hold it. By your window? Yep, by my window, right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there, right in front of me. I saw him. This is a rather important detail. Please add it to the testimony. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was the defendant. He said, I can't believe he's dead. Or he was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Are you sure? Uh-oh. Dad!
Dead certain, Keith. He said, I can't believe he's dead. And he was walking by too.
Rubble, 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 rubble.
Witness, are you sure the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth?
It was him. That's that Edward boy. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma. He lured me into a cross-examination so he could set me up for a fall.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I better act quick or this trial is going to be over. Raise an objection. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's court that it could not have been Mr. Edgeworth who fired that gun.
Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun?
That photograph showing the man, and the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly.
That is easily explainable.
He could have wiped his prints after he fired.
You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. Everything in this witness's testimony is true.
The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Raise another objection. Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his word is all we have. If he were telling a lie...
Mr. Wright, In a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently, you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof.
Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I could do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Please, can you hear me, sis? Please. We need your help. Nick needs you.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. 3 minutes was perhaps too high in expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record.
Enough! The witness may leave the stand. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case of the defendant. The case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No! This court finds the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, guilty. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. Court is adjourned. Wait! Who was that just now? Me! Huh? What? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen! You gotta listen to me! I was there in the park on the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until yesterday, but today I remembered it. I remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too.
Order! What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment.
One moment, Von Karma. So you say you heard the gunshot? Yeah, I did. The gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience to listen to the testimony, and then I realized something he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. It's not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Rebel. Order. Well, this is the first time something like this has happened in my court. I'm not quite sure how to proceed.
Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over.
Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this. She's right. If only it wasn't Larry. He could make things even worse. Mr. Edgeworth is just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now.
A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned.
Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure that no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard.
What is this?
I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Rabble. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now!
What?
The court will adjourn for 5 minutes in a recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. December 27th, 10:28 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew, that was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You were sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night. Yes? He said that he went looking for the Steel Samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Oh, right. And he found that balloon in the air tank that night. Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Huh? You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. When I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me, I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's a secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before in the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything depends on Larry now. Rubble. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I have to hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. When his testimony the night of the murder. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and found it. So I quietly slipped back into the boat. I quietly slipped the boat back into the rental shop. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake and didn't notice the boat. So, after I heard the single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. Any matter, right, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. That night, I was blah-de-blah-de-blah. Hold it. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? There were so many things wrong, I don't even know where to begin. Well, okay. First off, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11. I went out on the boat. And by that time, everyone had gone home for the night. So I waited till the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on the boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something, and I found it. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it that you were looking for?
What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if that were the truth.
This is all irrelevant. Let's get this over with.
So I quietly slipped back into the boat, to the rental shop, etc., etc. So around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12, yeah. So you're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face! Maybe I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. Hold it. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. So, you took a look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. Hold it! Wasn't there a boat out on the lake? Rabble. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. So I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So, after I heard the single gunshot, I went home. Hold it! So, you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should start by working on the contradictions. Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. So, I guess I'm not exactly sure what the right evidence to present here is. I think this to present, it might be to present the pistol, because he's only heard one gunshot and there's supposed to be two. But I could also, she heard two guns. I could also present Loda's deposition. I think it's Loda's deposition. Yes, that's right. Wait a second, Larry. What? You only heard one bang, you're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard two bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard two gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? I'm just gonna make sure that, okay, we're still recording. Sorry, everybody. We're still recording. Mr. Butts, what? You only heard one gunshot, are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not that sure. Eh? Not sure? How can you not be sure? Yeah, well, I may have missed the other gunshot. I was listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude. I had on my headphones. What? Rebel. Order, and stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio on earphones? Yeah, so what? Is that a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Kammer, your opinion?
Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony.
Bah! Nothing more than a pitiful lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony, but be sure to include the details, like your radio. Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't know if there were any other way. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. Just testimony what they heard. It's lonely being alone Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to the All Request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like, and I'm sure I heard a gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Leary has no idea what the problem is here.
Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio.
True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness says he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is that he heard, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. What Larry heard. Hold it! So, you turned on the radio? Right. I just wanted to hear somebody's voice, you know? You don't know what it's like being alone out there. Alone on Christmas Eve. Alone. I shouldn't have said anything. Hold it. Do you by any chance remember the name of the program you were listening to?
This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need to know. Tell us, Mr. Butts, how loud was your radio set that night? Hold it! Really booming loud? Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on? Yep. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. Hold it! Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. Nah, I can't prove it, but I remember the moment. I remember that moment real clear. I mean, I was talking about it. I was talking about it. It came back to me real clear, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. Hold it! What did he say?
Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could it know from knowing what what possible good could knowing what the DJ said to us?
Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should.
Why?
Well, how do you know if we don't ask, Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, testify to the court what the radio announcer was saying when you heard the gunshot. Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. Hold it! Are you sure? Of course I am. She said she had this really sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure that helped us at all. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there was one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. But we should know. Oops, wrong. I went too far. She said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas." So yeah, the shooting happened at, I can't remember what exactly I have to. I think I might have to present the photo, because I also have the second lake photo. Wherever that is. There it is. It shows an empty lake, then taken automatically at blah de blah. But I think it's this because obviously it was taken after midnight. So, objection! Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve! That would seem to be the very case, yes. But he shouldn't have heard the gunshot until after midnight. This photograph is irrefutable proof of this fact. Let's see what the time was on the photograph when the, okay, hold on. Let's see what the time was on the photo when the gun was triggered, when the gun triggered Miss Hart's camera. December 25th, 15 minutes after midnight, on Christmas Day. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Rabble. Order. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight.
Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious.
Hey, what? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mrs. Butt's claim that he heard the gunshot before midnight? Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight.
Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me the evidence that there was a gunshot before midnight.
Second lake photo, take that! Look at this photograph. It was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart. It was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on this photo reads December 24th. 11:50 p.m. Oh yeah? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. This is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard the gunshot, it was most definitely Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that this is the case. Then where does this leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming that she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera was also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause in between them. Rabble, 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 rabble. And why would this be?
Don't be fooled, Judge. The camera was set to respond to loud noises.
Yes?
There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera.
Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. I am fairly certain it's the pistol. Take that! This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Rebel, 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 rebel. Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering what exactly did happen on the night at the lake.
Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, then the other at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why?
Uh-oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 15 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it! Huh? I remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya, yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm gonna run with it. Right, I mean, is that safe? Safe, we've already got a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick? Your Honor! Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. Rebel. What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
Disc. So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer than Miles Edgeworth himself.
Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on the lake, and as was shown by the witness's photograph, the defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat.
I admit it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time at the time of the shooting. The timestamp on this photo says 50 minutes after midnight, but Larry heard a gun shot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way Edgeworth can be innocent.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad?
Explain then who is sitting on this boat. It's Edgeworth and the murderer, I believe. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. Rebel. Oh, what? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth wouldn't be able to tell why wouldn't be able to tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a different hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this.
Ludicrous!
Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's
Lotta Hart.
The murderer is none other than Mrs. Lotta Hart, the investigative photographer. Yes. You're saying that the young lady dressed up as Robert Hammond and fooled Mr. Edward? Yes, well, she didn't. She did look sort of manly.
I am ashamed I actually listened to this utter nonsense. Listen, you came to this conclusion based on a piece of evidence. That is, the photograph taken at 11:50. If you don't have this photograph, you never would have made this claim. Correct? And just who was it who went out of her way to give you this piece of evidence?
It was Lotta Hart.
Why would the murderer go to all that trouble just to deliver you decisive evidence?
I guess they wouldn't. Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to penalize you for this. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Whoops. Mr. Wright, can you tell us the name of the murderer? Oh, he looks suspicious. I better bluff and bluff good. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't?
Bah! Again, you waste my time.
I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Why did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he go all the way to shoot someone on the lake? May I suggest the real scene of the crime is not in the boat? What? Then where did the murder take place?
Show the judge where the murder really took place. Here.
Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet the victim without anybody seeing.
Do you have proof the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns to the boat. Just then, he's starting to head home, and he hears a gunshot. You heard the gunshot, Your Honor. Even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he just returned a boat? The boat shop. Rubble. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really, but I think if I start at the very beginning and take it slow, I might be able to just figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. That was around 11:50. That's when the gunshot Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat and became Robert Hammond. Then he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anybody? Details.
You know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer fired twice.
To create a witness. He believed he had to shoot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. To create a witness, the murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot to ensure that anybody who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men in the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. When he realized that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop, then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, then he threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Rebel. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has to say. Yes? Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Mr. Wright has said is mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. A letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, but I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we're conducting a trial here. May I ask you that you remain quiet? The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly. We can't allow him to get away. Rebel. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared.
A search warrant has already been issued.
It goes without saying I cannot declare a guilty verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to the trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well, court is adjourned. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah, well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? There was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably gonna get off the hook. Could you try and smile a little? Just relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you, I want to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. To be continued. Alright, well there we go. We'll leave it on that cliffhanger for now. Any case, this has been Joseph Returner Stalin, signing off our Phoenix Wright Let's Play for now. I certainly hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us next time for the epic conclusion of Case 4, Day 3, which will be the final part of this particular case. Well, there's one more case after this, and until that time, you guys take care.